Are you ready to learn about a new DFS company that is out there? Actually, a pretty popular company. They're called Sleeper. You might have heard of them from your fantasy leagues. I use them for fantasy football, but they also have a DFS option where you can choose picks. It's very similar to a Prize Picks and an Underdog where you select multiple players, you put them in a parlay, and you start cashing. But there are key differences with Sleeper than the other DFS platforms, which I will explain. But in this video, what we're going to be doing, we're going to give you a tutorial of how to use the Sleeper DFS picks option. As for me, my name is Matt Modi. I'm a content creator, betting analyst for oddsjam.com. I'm also a user of OddsJam. I've used OddsJam for a little over a year and a half, and I've made over $30,000. So it has been an incredibly profitable venture for me using OddsJam to make money betting on sports. So if you want that to be you, I recommend using the strategies talked about in this video. And then I also recommend subscribing to my YouTube channel to get notified whenever I come out with a new video. While we're here speaking about my YouTube channel, would appreciate it if you could like, comment, and subscribe. Hit me up on my Twitter handle you see on the screen here as well. And let's get into it. A couple notes at the very beginning. Number one, the Sleeper Picks option is only offered via mobile. So Sleeper does have a desktop. They do have a website, but it is only for their fantasy leagues specifically. If you want to use the Picks option, it has to be done via mobile. Part number two. I'm going to be screen recording on my phone as I'm going through this. So if it's a little bit clunky with me looking down and looking up and looking down and looking up, I apologize. Just bear with me there. But I figured the easiest way to walk you through and to teach you how to use Sleeper would be to literally do it myself. So we can get right into it. All right. And so this is what the home page on Sleeper looks like, right? We see at the very top here, you can choose between the different sport. Now, I am recording this in May, so the only sports that are currently going on are the NBA and the MLB, as you can see right here. But as soon as the other seasons start, we see NFL, college football, and college basketball as well. Right below that, we see the different options that we can choose from, right? We can browse by player, or we can browse by the specific game. So depending on what you're looking to do, there are different options you can choose from. And then right below that, we see here the different stats that we can choose from. So I'm in Colorado, which is kind of janky for DFS specifically. The only market that I am allowed to bet are fantasy points. So that's why the fantasy points are listed at the top. But for those of you in not a Colorado state, like a California, you can use everything. And basically what you need to know about the different things you can bet on, we see points, rebounds, assists. If there is a counting stat in the sport you are looking for, you can probably put that in an entry on Sleeper, right? As you see me scroll here, we see a ton of different options, right? We even see first quarter points, rebounds, assists, which is pretty cool. So Sleeper is similar to the DFS companies in that you're combining player props into a parlay, right? Like we see, I'm on the points section here. We see Embiid, Booker. If I like them both to go over, I'll click both of their overs, and then I can place that entry. But there's a key difference with Prize Picks and with Sleeper. The key difference being there is no fixed payout system with Sleeper specifically. For those of you that are familiar with Prize Picks and Underdog, no matter what individual plays you put into an entry, the payout system is the exact same. Sleeper doesn't do that. So like we see here next to the Joel Embiid points, we see the 1.72, right? We see that's for his over. For his under, we see the 1.83. Those are the different odds for his over and for his under. Now, if you're confused, what does the 1.72x, 1.83 for Devin Booker? We see how they're different, right? They're 1.77 each way for his over and for his under. So if you're wondering what those numbers mean, those are just the decimal odds. So I know that is a little bit confusing because if you're watching this, you're probably familiar with like American odds, like -110, -120. These are the decimal odds. So all you need to do if you want to figure out what the individual odds are, just use the odds converter calculator on OddsJam. You just type in 1.72 or 1.81 or whatever it may be. You put that into the odds converter calculator and it'll tell you what those decimal odds convert to in terms of American odds. So what we've learned about Sleeper compared to Prize Picks and Underdog is that for Sleeper specifically, there's not going to be an optimal number of picks that you want to put into an entry, right? For Prize Picks, it's 5 and 6 pick flexes. For Underdog, it's 3 and 5 pick player props. Because the fixed payout system, the value is the best on those specific number of picks in an entry. That's not the case with Sleeper because they price odds individually, right? Like if I take Embiid's over and Devin Booker's over, we see the payout is roughly 3.04x, right? We see that down here. Well, let's put, okay, I'm going to take different options now. Instead of taking Booker and Embiid, I'm going to take Jaylen Brown and Kevin Durant over. We see the payout is 3.09x. So the payout is different despite them both being 2 pick entries. So that is the example of exactly why there is not an optimal number of entries, because the payout is different depending on the plays that you add. And the one thing that I do want to mention is that when you see, like we see the 3.04x payout when I have the Booker and Embiid over, that number, that 3.04x, that includes your initial risk. So if you want to speak in terms of raw profit, you just have to subtract 1 from the payout number. So 3.04x really means a profit of 2.04x. So if I risked $100, then you would get a profit of $204, which means 304 would return back into your account because that includes your initial risk. So whenever you're thinking about your payout and stuff like that, just keep in mind, like if I add 2 more, we see the payout goes to 9.64x. Keep in mind that includes our initial risk. So if you want the profit would be 8.64. So 100 would turn into 8.64 in terms of profit. So 864. And you can do this up to 8 legs. That is the max that Sleeper will allow, right? Like you see, if I enter here, we see like 8. It's an 8 pick entry, which is absurd, like a 94x payout, which is crazy. But if I tried to add a 9th one, we see right here, your entry slip is full. You can't add a 9th one. So you can't add more than 8 into an entry. Now, 8's a lot. I would probably recommend putting it lower than 8. But in terms of the number, it really doesn't matter. If you have 8 that you like, go ahead and hit it. Doesn't matter what I think. The most important thing is the individual plays that you put into a Sleeper entry. And for that, you actually want to use the same exact strategy as regular old sports betting, right? What's a good bet on FanDuel is the same logic for what's a good bet on Sleeper. You're looking for positive expected value plays specifically on Sleeper, right? And by that, I mean, you're looking for mathematically profitable plays on Sleeper, where Sleeper is an outlier compared to the rest of the sports books. So if Sleeper has something for the equivalent of minus 120 odds, and every other book has that same exact play for minus 160, that is going to be an optimal play on Sleeper. It's the same thing if you want to use the fantasy optimizer, right? You can filter, you can click specifically Sleeper in the fantasy optimizer, and then you just hammer as many plays that are highlighted green as possible. That's how you use OddsJam to make money on Sleeper. But in terms of how to use Sleeper, it's pretty easy. You just have to use it on your phone, and then you just select between 2 and 8 player props that have some value. You put them in a parlay, but you can do it individually. So that's obviously the DFS portion of it, is you can't do it individually. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much how you use Sleeper. You can go to MLB, you can add players that way, and then as soon as the football season starts, college basketball, you can add plays for that. So hopefully this video was helpful. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. But that's pretty much it. So again, appreciate you guys for watching. Comment if you have any feedback. Other than that, remember to like, subscribe, hit me up at my Twitter handle you see on the screen here. Thanks for watching, and have a good one. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Below are all of my different social medias where I post picks and plays daily. Make sure to hit me up there. Also, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, as I'm constantly putting out new videos to learn how to make money sports betting. And that's it. So thanks for watching, and have a good one.